In addition to Soviet history, I also currently teach courses at Ilyuni on Stalin and Stalinism, the history and politics of the Caucasus, the Cold War, and the making of modern Ukraine. I've been teaching this class in Soviet political history at the MA level in Georgia for 15 years, for 5 years in the 2000s at Tbilisi State University, and now this will be the 10th year at Ilia State. Soviet history is a dynamic field, both in the West and in the former Soviet space, and has become even more vibrant with new questions that have been provoked by access to archival and other materials, which have in turn offered new ways of looking at this history. This course is a survey of the larger picture political contours of Russia and the Soviet Union in the 20th century, beginning with a background of the Tsarist Empire and the emergence of revolutionary thought in the 19th century, the Russian revolutions and civil war, the establishment of the USSR, the political and ideological conflicts for succession and direction of the 1920s, Stalin's revolutions from above of the 1930s and the war, the new political landscape that emerged after Stalin's death and the de-Stalinization that followed Khrushchev's secret speech at the 20th Party Congress in 1956, the interest group politics of the Brezhnev period, and the ways in which Gorbachev's attempts to reform the system through his perestroika policies unleashed centrifugal forces that in the end led to the collapse of the entire Soviet system. Throughout the course, political emphasis will be placed on the national question and the Soviet nationality policy, and particularly on the ways in which the Soviet periphery came to play crucial roles in the politics of the Soviet center. Another underlying focus of the course is the historiography of the Soviet Union, the changing ways in which the USSR has been studied, and how those approaches were themselves products of the political contexts of their own times. In current public discourse about Georgian history here in Georgia, the Soviet period is often viewed in very simplistic and black and white terms, most often through a dual prism of great suffering and persecution on the one hand and heroic resistance on the other. While there are certainly elements of both of these things in the history of 20th century Georgia, in my view, the reality is both far more complex and also far more interesting. For better or worse, modern Georgian history can only be understood on the broader background of what was taking place in the Tsarist and Soviet empires of which Georgia was a part, and in the history of which Georgia and Georgians played extremely important roles. So this course aims to provide this essential background understanding for this history in a critical and dispassionate manner.